How we doing, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to a brand new video here on the channel. Today we're talking the Premier League. As of recording, the Premier League returns in 2 days from now. I'm recording this on the Wednesday and the Premier League returns on Friday. So we're back, ladies and gentlemen. Premier League football has returned. The summer is done. No preseason games, even though I was at a preseason game. No more preseason, no more whoop-diddy-doo. Champions League coming back, La Liga's coming back, Serie A's coming back, all that fun stuff. So today, we're going to talk Premier League predictions. This is the first ever Premier League predictions I've ever done. Why is my phone going off? I have it on Do Not Disturb. I'm going to change that in the process of recording this video. But anyways, we're going to go through a tier list. I'm going to show you who I've got finishing where, the relegation zone, back half of the table, top half of the table, European places, Champions League places, and who will win the league. So without further delay, let's get straight into it. Alright, so here's our tier list. We're going to go through 18 through 20. We're going to start off with the relegation places, obviously. So who I've got going down this year, I mean, it's a competitive league this year. I mean, anybody could go up or go down, but for my relegation picks, I'm going to go Luton Town, Sheffield United, and I think I am going to chuck Everton in the drop zone as well. Reasoning, Luton Town, I mean, I just don't think they're as good as the other teams in the league, and they're gonna have to go up against the top teams like the Uniteds, the Cities, the Arsenals, the Liverpools, week in, week out. Even teams like Newcastle, Aston Villa, Chelsea, Tottenham, they're all good. So it's like, I just don't see Luton Town competing with those teams week in, week out, and that lack of squad depth is going to play a factor. So I think Luton will go back down to the championship this season. Would love to see them stay up. Please, for the love of God, please. I beg of you, Luton, prove me wrong. But unfortunately, I don't see the miracle happening, so I'm going to predict Luton Town to finish last and go down the relegation zone. In 19th, I have Sheffield United, kind of similar to Luton. I don't think they've made the right adjustments as a team, but I feel like they could sneak in, you know. I think Sheffield United could sneak into outside of the relegation zone, but I feel like they're going to be between 15th to 19th the whole season, and they're going to end up in 19th because I feel like some of these teams that are already in the Premier League are a little better than them. So sorry, Sheffield United, you're going down as well. And Everton, wouldn't this be something if Everton got relegated? Man, they've just been on such a bad run of form lately that I feel like it has to either go up or go down, or go up or go down at some point. And with Everton, I just see it going down. And so in my opinion, I think Everton will go down this season. That'll be crazy to see. I'm sure many Liverpool fans will love it if it happens, but in my opinion, Everton will be relegated this season. Sorry, Everton fans, but it's time to either go up or down, but I think you're going to go down based on who you signed and how good the competitors are around you. So, sorry, Everton fans. Now, starting off with the mid-table teams, I'm going to go with Bournemouth in 17th, Nottingham Forest in 16th. Oh, who else could we pick here? I think Burnley will probably finish around 15th. We'll put them ahead of Forest. Who else could we fit in this section? Actually, wait, I think Wolves will be in 15th. And, who will I put in 13th? I think I'm going to put Crystal Palace in 13th. So, wait. 17th, 16th. Okay, good. I'm counting right. I just got to make sure. I can be a bit stupid sometimes here. Gotta make sure I'm on track. All right. The reason I'm putting Bournemouth in 17th is I feel like they're good enough to stay up. They are a good enough team. I could have easily put Bournemouth in the relegation zone, in my opinion, especially where they sacked Gary O'Neill, who's now the Wolves manager. And my beloved Man United are playing Wolves in game 1 of the season, so we have to play a brand new manager in his first game. We all know how that goes, but I'm getting off topic. Bournemouth, I feel like they're a good enough unit, you know. I think Bournemouth, to they're a pretty hard team to play. I mean, I don't look forward to going to the Vitality Stadium as a Man U fan every Premier League season, but it's something you got to do in the Premier League. You got to show up to these hard games and sneak out points the best way you can if you want to win the league. So I feel like they're a good enough unit, Bournemouth, but I just feel like with them sacking the man all the players really stuck behind, it's going to hurt them a little bit. But I don't feel like they're going to go down. I just feel like they're going to be in that mid-tier range. So I hope you're okay with that, Bournemouth fans. I would take that personally, but I just don't know why you sacked Gary O'Neill. Anyways, Nottingham Forest, I mean, they're kind of like, they're in the same ballpark as Bournemouth, let's be real, but they didn't sack their manager, so I feel like they're going to be a little bit ahead of Bournemouth and some of the teams down in the relegation zone, but I feel like they'll just scrape out past relegation again. I mean, they've got rid of some of the players off the wage bill because they spent big last season when they came back to the Premier League. So, yeah, no, I can definitely see Nottingham Forest staying up. It's just a matter of can the new recruitments, can Steve Cooper round these players up once again to stay up, and I think they will. So Nottingham Forest, I think you stay in the Premier League again this season. I have Wolves in 15th. Now, I just feel like bringing in a new manager, the players are going to have to gel under Gary O'Neill, and this is the day Gary O'Neill got hired. So, I mean, there's a bit of optimism to me, or like skepticism rather. So, if Gary O'Neill is good for Wolves, then great, you know, I hold my hands up, but I just feel like it's going to take some time for the players to gel under Gary O'Neill, especially so close to the season like we are. And I think the loss of Ruben Neves is going to hurt Wolves a lot. Ruben Neves is another one of those players who went to Saudi Arabia for the big bucks. So, I keep burping. Excuse me. But, yeah, no, I think Wolves, they're a good team, but I just feel like there's a lot of factors around it that are going to make it a worse season than usual. So, if 15th, I got Wolves. 14th, I've got Burnley. I feel like Burnley are going to be even better nowadays in the Premier League because under Vincent Kompany, you can see how they played in the Championship. They've done great recently. They've got a great team, a great all-around unit, a team that sticks together. They don't play Brexit football like they used to under Sean Dyche. They build up the ball well. They're playing like a knockoff City almost. So I feel like Burnley are going to build and build and build upon this season and just keep growing from here. I think if you're buying stocks in any team, buy it in Burnley because they're definitely on the up. I'll say that. And in 13th, I got Crystal Palace. I just feel like they're losing great players left and right. I mean, they got a great recruitment team, but I hear Michael Olise is going to Chelsea. The loss of Wilfred Zaha is going to hurt them a lot, but Palace are on the upturn, and I mean, they're going to look for someone to replace Roy Hodgson as well. So I just feel like 13th is a reasonable spot to put Palace. It's after what they've lost, I don't think it'll be a year of growth. I feel like it'll be a year of a slight decline before you go back up. Sometimes you got to go down to go up. That sounds like a Doc Hudson quote, but anyways, you get what I mean. I got Crystal Palace finishing 13th. And finishing 12th, or 8th through 12th. Okay, who are we going to put here? I think Brentford will be 12th. I think Brentford's a good pick to go there. Who else could we stick in there? I think Fulham will probably be around that range as well. Brighton, I feel like they'll be around 11th. So Brentford, Brighton, Fulham. Who will finish 9th? I'm going to go with West Ham United. West Ham to finish 9th. Now, I've got Brentford in 12th. I mean, Brentford, they're just a great all-around unit. They brought a bunch of Scandinavian boys to England. They said, you have fun. They brought their style over here and everything, and they're doing a great job in the Premier League. I'll give Brentford a lot of credit in that aspect. I think they're doing fantastically well for this point in the season, but I don't feel like they've increased on what they've had a whole lot, so I just kind of feel like they'll stagnate out into this lower half of the bottom, or this high part of the bottom half of the table, if you know what I mean. I feel like they're going to be consistently that team that's going to be finishing around like 10th to 14th every year, if you know what I mean. Kind of like how Southampton were for the last 10 years before they got relegated. So I think this will be a good year for Brentford. I mean, another year under Thomas Frank. I think he's a very good manager. I think he's the piece that holds that team together. So I think Brentford are on for a good finish this year. Brighton. Now, there's a lot of things going on at Brighton. You have the whole Moises Caicedo thing. Robert Sanchez left. Is De Zerbi, is that how you say the manager's name? How is he going to do with his first full season since taking over from Graham Potter? I mean, Brighton are like, how do I describe? They're always good, if you know what I mean. Brighton are always solid. But here's the thing, like with Brighton, it's just how many times can you let your players go and just keep getting better? I mean, I can't, that's why I have Brighton in 11, because it's like, I feel like they're going to be good, but not good enough, if you know what I mean. Because Brighton are always a hard team to play against. Whenever I look at this, like at our schedule as a United fan and see Brighton, I'm like, oh, great, here comes a hard game. But, yeah, no. I think Brighton are on for a good run this season. And I think they'll finish 11th. I would have put them higher, but with all the drama going on there, I've picked Fulham. Brighton to finish 11th. I've got Fulham in 10th. Now, I feel like they're just kind of gonna stagnate, because I mean they haven't brought a huge amount of players in, but they haven't lost a whole lot of players either. I know they're trying to sign Fred from us at the moment, which I feel like Fred would be a really good player for Fulham if he doesn't go to Galatasaray. But I do feel like Fulham, they're kind of like Brighton. They're a hard team to play, and it'll just kind of stay in this 10 to 12 range and be a solid Premier League team to come up against every single week. So give me Fulham in 10th, West Ham to finish 9th. I mean, I'm kind of surprised I put West Ham this high, especially considering that they lost Declan Rice. He's now at Arsenal. What is going to happen with West Ham? I mean, they're trying to sign Scott McTominay off of us, and they're also trying to sign Harry Maguire. I've seen reports recently that Scamacca might be leaving. I don't feel like that would be a horrible loss for them, but I mean, you want to keep bringing players in. I'm surprised I'm putting West Ham this high, to be honest. I just feel like West Ham, they're really good one year and they're bad the next in the league. It's like they're up and down, and this is their year to do half decent. So I think West Ham, they'll finish around 9th place, and yeah, that'll be that. So congrats, West Ham. You're gonna do fine without Declan Rice. I'm just realizing this says 8 to 12, and I completely forgot to put the 8th place team in. So who will finish 8th out of these teams? I'm gonna go for, I think I'm gonna go for, no, oh my god, who do I take here? I think I'm gonna go for Tottenham to finish 8th. And who gets Conference League? Who gets Conference League? Actually, wait, no, I'm gonna put Tottenham in the Conference League. I'm gonna put Aston Villa in the higher mid-table. Now, I must say, Aston Villa under Unai Emery are a great team. There's no shadow of a doubt. I think Aston Villa are a great team, and they're going to be contending for years to come. But we've seen this with Unai Emery. He starts off well, has a good 2 or 3 years, but then slacks off eventually. I don't feel like that slack off will come just yet, but I think towards the end of the season, especially where they're in Europe now, that form will kind of just come down slowly but surely. So I feel like Aston Villa, they can contend. They can definitely fight for a Europa League spot or Champions League spot if they're lucky. Could you imagine Aston Villa going for a Champions League spot? That'd be insane. But I feel like they're not as good as and their squad depth isn't as much as like the big boys, and this is where we're starting to get into the big boys. So I feel like Aston Villa will finish around 8th place. For Tottenham, I think 7th would be a good recovery after last season. I mean, They started off the season pretty well, to be fair to Tottenham, but then they just went down, 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 and then they had that 5-1 loss to Newcastle and all those terrible moments. I mean, they got the new manager now. He's the former Celtic guy. I can't remember his name for the life of me, or I can't pronounce it. I have the name in my head, I just can't pronounce it. Who knows what's going to happen with Harry Kane as well. I mean, I feel like Tottenham have made some really good signings, I can't lie, and I think having no Europe this year will help them, schedule-wise and all that, but I just feel like this will be a building year under the new manager. Who knows and I feel like the Harry Kane drama will affect it, because, I mean, Daniel Levy, if he was smart, he'd just let Harry Kane go at this point, because I don't feel like Harry Kane's going to sign a new contract at Tottenham. So, yeah, I feel like Tottenham will finish 7th in the Premier League this season. Alrighty, Europa League spots. These spots are going to go to Chelsea in 6th and Newcastle in 5th. If you want to talk about a rebuild, you look at Chelsea, because, I mean, they've had to let so many players out the door, and they also had to bring some new ones in the process. They got a new manager, some new players who I think are good. I feel like some of the new players that they're keeping are going to build off a really consistent basis. I like Nicholas Jackson for them. I think he's going to be a good player. Mudryk might come good this year. Who really knows with him? I mean, I like the guy, but he did not have a great end of the season last year. Who else they got? They got Christopher Nkunku. I feel like he will be a great signing for them. He's injured to start the season, which sucks, but I do feel like Nkunku, when he's on the field, will make a big impact for Chelsea. And they've got a pretty similar back line. It sucks that Aspie's gone. They've lost Mason Mount to us. Oh, that makes me a little happy inside, I can't lie. I love me some Mason Mount now, but oh man. Yeah, I just feel like under Pochettino too, it'll take some time for Chelsea. I feel like no Europe will help them too, but I don't see them going straight in with the big boys after for the Champions League spot, that is, because Chelsea are one of the big dogs. But how do I say it? It's not clicking into my mind right now, but like, I just feel like it's gonna take for Chelsea. I just think it's gonna take a year to like fully click with Pochettino. You know, have every last player click with him, and with all the rebuilding and signings that they've done over the last little bit, I just feel like this is a rebuild year for Chelsea, and they got to treat it that way. As for Newcastle, I feel like Newcastle could be on for a fantastic season, especially after them getting Champions League last season. And give it up to Newcastle. I've got them finishing one spot lower than they did last year, but that's mainly because they got Champions League football now. Newcastle could go out in the group stages and be in the Europa League for even more games. Like, we don't really know what's going to happen with Newcastle, so I wish them all the best. I really do. I've enjoyed the story, how far they came, but I just feel like there's one team that I can't have missing out on a Champions League in back-to-back seasons. I hate them to death, and you definitely know who it is, considering a United fan has said he hates them to death. But yeah, I honestly, I would put Newcastle in 4th place if it wasn't for them being back in the Champions League and another team that I feel like can't miss out on the Champions League for 2 seasons in a row. Well, time to end this video off. Here we go. I think Liverpool are going to finish 4th. I think Arsenal will finish 3rd. And then the title race comes down to the 2 Manchester clubs, United v City. As you could tell, there's one team I would love to put ahead of the other, but I have to be realistic here. I think United are going to come just short of the title, and Man City will win the Premier League once again. Alright, so with Liverpool, I feel like they just can't miss out on Champions League 2 years in a row. Please don't remind me of the 7-0 Liverpool fans. I put you in the Champions League. Let me have a break. But, yeah, no, I honestly feel like they've made some good signings, like Alexis McAllister, the Szoboszlai fella from one of the Red Bull teams, I think, with Leipzig. I feel like he will be a great addition for them. Like, Liverpool have made some genuinely decent signings. I mean, they've lost Henderson this year. Van Dijk's now the captain. So, I feel like this could be an okay year for Liverpool. They are loaded of left wingers, though, I will say that. But yeah, I just feel like with the squad depth they have, I mean, I feel like 4th and 5th place could be very close between Liverpool and Newcastle, but I picked Liverpool just because I don't think Liverpool can miss out on Champions League 2 years in a row. Moving on to 3rd place, I got Arsenal. Arsenal blew us all out of the water by taking the lead of the Premier League so early on and almost winning the damn thing. If they wouldn't have lost so many games at the end of the season, and drawn rather, but Arsenal probably would have won the Premier League last year. And that just shows that City are beatable. Like, they do look invincible, but City are beatable. But here's the thing, man. I don't know. Like, I feel like they're going to rely on some of the new signings too much, and I don't think Kai Havertz is the greatest player ever. I mean, I feel like he could have like a good maybe 10 goal, maybe like a 15 goals and assist involvement season, but I feel like in clutch moments where they're tied and they need someone to get a goal, I feel like they're going to look on someone like Kai Havertz, and he's going to miss some big chances. I look at Arsenal, I don't think they have the most crunch time team in the world. I feel like someone like Bukayo Saka, Martin Odegaard, like when I think about players who I want in those like last 5 minutes of the game and at a time, like I don't think of many of the guys in that Arsenal team. I mean, the closest you got is Saka, and I feel like Saka, how do I say this, like Saka's good, but he's not great in my opinion. I mean, I might be biased because I'm a Man United fan. Saka's a phenomenal player, but yeah, no, I just feel like when it comes down to it, Arsenal don't have those clutch performers. I feel like that's going to be their downfall this year. I think it's going to be a good title race between them, my 2nd place team, my beloved Manchester United, and Manchester City. So, alright, where do I start with Man United? 2nd place. I feel like we've genuinely made like a really good transfer window, and I don't think we're getting a lot of credit for it, because I mean, Ten Hag has been ruthless ever since he came in. Let's be real. When you cut the GOAT out of your club, like that's saying something. Arguably the best player of all time just cut from the club in an instant. It doesn't matter what he did. When you do that, it sends a statement, you know? It sends that we actually have standards at this club. I feel like we've made some great additions this year. I feel like Mason Mount will give Christian Eriksen a lot of help. But I mean, I'm a little worried with how him and Bruno will play together at points, because I feel like that midfield three that we got of Bruno, Mount, and Casemiro, that's going to be the midfield three that we stick with for most of the season with Eric. You could probably swap Mount and Eriksen out depending on who we're playing and what tactics we're going to go with. So, you know, overall, I like the Mount signing. I just don't know why they gave him the number 7. It should have been Garnacho or Sancho, one or the other. But I just feel like, yeah, I don't know how him and Bruno are going to link up at some points. Looking at the other signings we brought in, Andre Onana, I think he will come good. I mean, he's had a rough start to preseason goalkeeping, at least. I mean, look at preseason. I mean, he got chipped from halfway because, I mean, I don't blame that on Onana because, I mean, they want him to play out and they've given away a bad back pass, and we have to get used to playing out of the back because that's what the system Ten Hag wants us to play. So I feel like Onana will come good. Just give him some time to warm up. Playing Premier League football at Old Trafford is not something everyone gets to do every day, and that's a lot of pressure on your shoulders being the goalkeeper of Manchester United. So give Onana some time. I think he'll come good. Rasmus Højlund just got announced last weekend. He's a guy that you kind of have to let work him into the system. You got to let him build up. And I feel like Rasmus Højlund will be a great player for Manchester United. Do I think he'll come good in an instant? No. Do I think he could be like Erling Haaland? Yes, but just give him some time. I mean, for Denmark, he was scoring goals like it was nothing. For Atalanta, he wasn't scoring as much as I would have liked. But even still, goals are goals. And I feel like at 20 years old, dude, Rasmus Højlund is like 16 days older than I am. So, like, what do I have room to talk? But I do feel like Rasmus Højlund will come good and be a very good striker for United. Anyways, I got United finishing second. We're also looking at signing Amrabat and Tolibo as of recording this. I didn't even mention the David De Gea situation. I didn't even mention Harry Maguire. As you can tell, I could talk about Man United all day, but we all know what happened with Maguire, De Gea. I want to wish them well. By the time this video goes out, Maguire may be confirmed to go to West Ham. I know the transfer fee is confirmed, but personal terms aren't agreed yet, so we'll see what happens there. But David De Gea, I love you, man. I'm sorry it ended like it did. But anyways, Manchester City are the champions. We just know how good City are. All you really need is Haaland, De Bruyne, Diaz, Ederson. Mahrez is gone now, but Bernardo Silva, like, it's Manchester City, man. What more can I say? They are stacked from top to bottom. They just signed Josko Gvardiol, though looking at bringing in Lucas Paqueta as well. Like, my God, City are so stacked, and they got so much money for days. Please, City fans, if you're in the comments, congrats on winning the treble. Ow, that ripped a hole out of my heart, but friggin' City, man. I hope we take you to the very end. I will say that. All the best in the title race, but I truly think we're going to take you to the very end. You may have, instead of an Aguero moment, you might have a Haaland moment instead, but we'll see. I do think you'll win the league. You're the favorites to win the league, but we'll see how it all plays out, won't we? Here's my Premier League table for one last time. Take a look at it, soak it in, but that's where I've got Manchester City being your champions, United, Arsenal, and Liverpool qualifying for the Champions League, Newcastle and Chelsea getting Europa League, Tottenham in the Conference League, and Everton, Sheffield, and Luton Town going down. Damn, that was a good little rhyme. Guys, if you enjoyed this video, make sure you smash that like button. Comment down below where you think each team will finish in the Premier League this season. And yeah, make sure you share this video with a friend. Yeah, how about that? Premier League starts on Friday. It's Wednesday. Oh my God, we gonna get some Premier League football, baby. Let's go. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. And until next time, take care and peace.